The generation coming up, they don't know what they're looking for.
But if they don't have a personality as a person, they're gonna lose you.
You'll hear like one little song and everyone's like, oh my goodness, I love this song, and then boom. Now
I don't know how I made it through life.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? Gen Z is lazy. Reasoning.
First of all, we're in 2025, and if we have not woken up to see all these issues and stuff going on right now, and if you think you can do it with one hand with your other hand tied behind your back, please call us lazy all day. But this is a lot of pressure, especially for you put somebody out there and you tell them to do something. Of course, you're going to need instructions to learn how to do it. But for us to do this firsthand and trying to figure it out on our own has to be nowhere near lazy, but trying to figure it out while also keeping ourselves sane. If that makes sense. So it does feel like a lot of expectations, but there is so many new problems that nobody has yet to solve themselves, and they live longer than us, and yet we're still trying to solve them and have to look at a future of solving them to this day. So no, I don't think we're lazy. I just think we're still trying to figure it out while trying to figure out ourselves.
I wouldn't say that all of Gen Z is lazy. I would say definitely, I hate to say this, but after COVID is when I've seen a lot of the laziness like transpire. I personally see a lot of people our age want to take the easy way out every time, where it's always like, I feel like we don't, I'm not going to say we collectively, but certain people in our generation don't work hard enough. And I feel like our parents and who came before our parents, they worked very hard, and now I feel like we're not pushing the work ethic hard enough anymore.
I agree, like to go off of that, like we live in like a Instapot, air fryer, microwave like generation,
Yeah,
like, you know, like
exactly.
we want results quick, and it's like a lot of things, like good things take hard work, you know. It's like we're so used to just like instantaneous gratification and all that, and it's like when we don't get that, it's like it's not worth pursuing. It's like, no, some things actually take work, and you're gonna have to put in more effort. And I just see that a lot. I mean, that's something even myself sometimes be like, okay girl, like you gonna have to put in the work to get here, you know. So that's just something I feel like it's like, okay, we gotta break it out of that mindset.
I understand that, but whenever I hear the question, when it's usually asked, it's usually in a corporate setting or a work setting. So when someone asks, like, is Gen Z lazy, I think no, in the capacity that when we're in a work setting, we don't tolerate a lot of things that our predecessors might have tolerated. For example, being like, you're fired because you didn't show up for the job, but I had a family emergency, but you should disregard that. You should still be showing up for the job. And I can understand that from an employer's standpoint, but at the same time, it's like, if someone's being disrespectful to us, like saying like, oh, you didn't wash the dishes correctly, you don't deserve to be here, or stuff like that, I feel as though we just don't want to we shouldn't have to tolerate that in that capacity. So I don't think Gen Z is lazy, because it's already difficult enough in a job market that is already being taken over by AI for us to even get a job and then not be treated with respect after working so hard to get it.
I was just gonna go ahead and say, I don't think that like all of Gen Z is lazy, but I do think there are some instances where, you know, I see myself doing it sometimes too, but just sometimes us as young adults, teenagers, we kind of, like you said, sometimes we want things given to us, and it'd be like the simplest things, like, for example, side chat. We all know side chat is, we like side chat. People go in there and ask the simplest questions, be like, oh, what time is the cab close, what time is the gym close, stuff like that. It's like simple stuff that you can like look up on Instagram or Google, just things like that. What is my professor's email? Just simple stuff like that, stuff that we can like go and find ourselves, but we want people to do it for us. There'd be like other simple instances like work, or a classmate asking you, oh, what's the answer to this, or I guess you do this and that and third, and it'd be like a quiz that you could have looked up yourself and did it yourself. It's just the laziness, like you said, it comes from COVID, so I understand it, but it's just like some simple things that we can really do ourselves that we just choose not to for whatever it is. I don't know.
I was gonna say that I think this generation likes to really utilize the easier things. That's why I put my thumbs down. Like, we're kind of really just using the advancements that we were given to us, you know, with Google and AI or whatever the case may be. I feel like the this generation just really puts it to the best use, and I think that's why some of them have kind of fallen into the category of lazy because we're using the easiest solution, but I think that's why that advancement was put there. Now, does that go for not trying your hardest when it comes to certain things and wanting a handout? No, but I feel like this generation definitely does utilize the faster, the easier things to have help something grow, whether it be your knowledge in something or a business that you have. I feel like this generation definitely does know how to utilize the easier things. You know what I'm saying? So I also think that the way that things are changing in the world, I don't think it's a terrible thing to try to find, easier ways, considering that the way things are in the world right now, they're getting harder than it was for our parents and the generation before. So I feel as though they're not, I feel like we're not lazy. Some are, but I feel like we're not also lazy, but I feel like we're just using the advancements that we have as well.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? TikTok should be banned. Discuss.
I'll say, I don't think it should be banned. Well, of course, bad is bad, but I don't think it should be banned because we still get a lot of valuable information from TikTok. And this is gonna go into a further topic that we have later, but a lot of people's attention spans aren't that long. So it's like learning important things like how to change a tire or how to file your taxes, simple stuff like that from like a quick 6 to 10, 15 second video is still very important. And it's like some things we learn on TikTok we don't even learn here. It's like, somebody asks you where you learned this from, I got from TikTok. We don't even learn it's in school. So that's why I just think it's very valuable to have an asset like TikTok. Of course, it's free. You can scroll it all the time and learn things all the time. I think it's valuable. I don't think it should be there.
I think TikTok, when you use TikTok correctly, you can grow your mind to crazy heights. If you have your algorithm put in place that it's just for you to be, great. Like, okay, fitness and how to grow your wisdom, how to be the best you, things of that nature, that helps you so much and it puts you to tremendous heights. You can even do how to make money, as I think it was like, you can learn how to do stocks off of TikTok. You can also learn how to become an investor. You can also learn how to become a realtor. Like, TikTok, when used correctly, will put you in the best positions. Also, if you are a faith-based person such as myself, you can use it to have a daily Bible verse, pray, be careful with that obviously, but pray, daily Bible verse, be uplifted by, uplift your spirit, you know what I'm saying? TikTok used correctly is one of the best things for sure.
I definitely agree with that, and I feel like growing into into my young womanhood, TikTok has allowed me to blossom into that. Like you said, the growing in the scriptures and the prayers. If I didn't have TikTok, I probably would be able to figure out that stuff, but it's just like I literally made my For You page for me.
Exactly.
And then also I feel like it's built my sense of humor.
Right.
I'm able to kiki at a little more things. And I definitely feel like it's was banned because of the government. They're scared of what we can do. And yes, I did say our generation is lazy, but I feel like we also are the most progressive. We're the most progressive, and I feel like TikTok shows that in every way possible, even outside of this country. If I didn't have TikTok, I probably wouldn't know that people outside of this country were fighting for this country harder than this country.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not even just the content we consume, but some people make a living off of TikTok, content creators, whether they sell stuff on TikTok Shop. And even so, the amount of people who have blown up on TikTok is insane. You'll hear one little song and everyone's like, oh my goodness, I love this song, and then boom, now this person is literally getting a Grammy or something. It's just
exactly.
It's crazy. So just TikTok is really it's life changing for some people, and it's to take that away, it's nah.
No, I completely agree due to the fact that it also helps a lot of small businesses. A lot of Black businesses flourish and allows us to bring money back into the economy, especially for the Black community, and hopefully make some generational wealth long term.
Yes.
Oh, to add on to that point, I have learned so many things about Black history from TikTok. It was something that was crazy to me, in Louisiana, something with people that were enslaved, and then also it was something about like the mother effers, like hearing that history, and I'm like, why does that gatekeep away from us for all of our lives? So I definitely feel like TikTok should not be banned. It is so informative.
Y'all about to be mad at me. Okay, as a content creator, as somebody who grew up with Musically first, I have my first-hand experience of what the difference was, and I'm gonna say it right now, with the government having control now, it's just not the same. I think it should go away because they're not gonna show these things no more. Like lately, I've been getting Donald Trump stuff, I can't even record it. Like they literally modify everything. They don't have the STEM section no more. They can't teach you that stuff. They're taking it away, and now it's to the point where I'm just looking at unnecessary TikToks now. That's wasting time. So it's like, you know, for me trying to pull out my content still, but also getting distracted by a wig install that I just looked at for like 25 minutes now, trying to figure out how to fix it. But now I'm like, oh, I have an essay due. Or like to your point, people have control. But let's be honest, the generation that's coming up, they do not. Their attention span, it's like they get distracted easily. They get, sometimes you shocked them when you take away their phone, the temper that they have. It's worse than somebody with a vape. Like, it's like, whoa. Like, yeah.
Okay.
So it's scary, like, to look at it because after seeing, like, all y'all were there when TikTok got banned and how everybody was reacting, like, I should have posted, I should have done this. Why are we still having that shoulda, coulda, woulda mindset? And then I remember making a post saying, okay, post now, it's back. But then there's people now still scrolling for hours. Now, like, if I literally had people, if I did a survey, people pull out their phone as screen time, it's ridiculous of how much we sit there. And there's so much time that goes by. And it's like, did you learn something? What did you gain from it? If I asked you and you're gonna tell me, well, I learned that, and then you said, like, hesitate, then I can't vouch for you why TikTok should stay. So it's just, to the government, no, I disagree because they have their own issues of why they want it banned. But for us, it's like, with Musically being there, we did a little bit more, but I'm not saying revert back, but I feel like we always find a way, like you said, we always find a way to find that scripture. We always find a way to figure out what we want to learn if we're dedicated enough. But for the generation coming up, they don't know what they're looking for. And that's kind of our job, like for us growing up, to teach them to try to put that out there, like, hey, don't be fooled by this. Like, this is what they're going to show you, but don't fall into it. So that's kind of why I feel like it should be banned, and we should kind of just step back for a moment and try to rethink of what we can build if we just come together for ourselves instead of trying to rely on the app that's now modified and distracting us and trying to brainwash, like Trump wash us into thinking that, oh, he's a good guy because he gave it back.
And it feels like I'm still for TikTok being here, but it feels like after it got banned, it kind of feels like a dictatorship. Like he's running a dictatorship. And I definitely agree with, you made like a lot of valid points about the younger generation. And especially the tempers is very scary. And even when TikTok was banned for the 20 hours that it was, seeing people go as bizarre as they were going, I was like, y'all, it's really not that deep.
Literally saw somebody laid out on the ground crying on their phone. Like, do y'all know how sad
that was sad.
But I feel like that's a social media problem.
Yeah.
It's just a general social media problem.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, I came out of some like just memes and stuff that was coming from that. Like, it did bit was like some of the funniest things you've ever seen. That's why I said like, right, I feel like it should be banned because it allows people to tap that like creativity part and a lot of people's sense of humor, which is always like interesting. Like getting that type of humor from TikTok and seeing the things that people are able to come up with and create is just always hilarious. So that's why I enjoy it.
Like I said, the biggest thing is if we could just teach them how to use it as a tool. I'm just tired of people getting distracted and then, like you said, like immediately asking. It's always, let me just ask. I don't feel like looking. You know, I feel like TikTok kind of serves that, but at the same time, it's just, I feel like there's more that we can do, more tools we can make, and we're just kind of delayed because of this app.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? Gen Z is too reliant on social media. Discuss.
I think we are too reliant on social media. Not everybody, but a lot of people in our generation are too reliant on social media, especially when it comes to like simple interactions. Like a lot of people you want to talk to somebody or somebody you may find attractive or whatever, but instead of just speaking to them when you see them in person, you'll wait till later and do whatever it is that you find on social media and hit them up in the DM and it's like, they were right funny, why you didn't interact with them? And it's just like other similar interactions of asking somebody for something. You may not, some people don't feel comfortable like, doing it in person, but the moment you get away from that person, you feel like you can reach out to them through social media, which I understand, but it's like, social media, like Instagram, TikTok, all these apps have kind of like taken away that sensibility of us being able to like regularly communicate with people. Just simple conversations, things that we can like talk about in person, we feel more comfortable talking about them before I don't know.
I also feel like it's made us so, like, it's put this stigma in our head where we have to be much further than where we are. And I get caught up in that a lot because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm 21 and I keep comparing myself to another 21-year-old who has a freaking house and a car, riding in a Benz and a husband. I'm like, wait, am I doing something wrong? But then I'm like, hold on. Am I slow down? You know, God has you in this place and you're where you're supposed to be. I also feel, I'm also an artist, so I sing and I also compare myself to other artists and I'm like, look at what they're doing. Like, I'm in college, which isn't bad, like, of course, in that education girl. But I feel like social media has made it to where like artists have to push content all the time to get any type of attention, to get any type of stream, to get any type of record. So that's why I feel we're moving.
I feel like social media has definitely just caused a disconnect for us. Verbally, probably wise, and by that I mean not being able to interact with our peers. I mean, you guys been to some of the parties here. You know, it's just like everybody's standing on the wall waiting, like nobody's really living in the moment, nobody's talking to each other, nobody, you know, it's a little odd. And I mean, you can always go out and talk to people and break them out the box, but nobody's already standing outside the box of wanting to interact. So I feel like social media and just being on our phones so much, and it happened really during COVID. You know, we kind of all had to be put in a bubble by ourselves, and we didn't. This generation, you know, during high school, that's when you work on your communication skills. I feel some people that hurt and they lost that ability to talk to other people and our peers, and now everybody's just kind of standing like this, not trying to step on toes, or their pride will get to them, and they don't want to embarrass themselves or things of that nature because somebody else doesn't know how to communicate. And I just feel like that's the break of it. I feel like we rely on it too much to talk to people. We really just can just take that step, you know. Also going back to like comparisons to other individuals. You don't have to look at other people for a blueprint, because you know God has the blueprint and He's gonna let you build your life the way He wants you to. So.
I also agree with that. I also feel as though because of social media, we are slowly losing the art of research. Like, a lot of people are taking what other people are saying at face value without actually looking up what that actually means. For example, what is a tariff? People did not research what a tariff was, but they heard one thing and they decided to run with that, and look at how the election is currently. So it's just like, because we don't take the time to actually research what the information we're being told to is about, it causes us to then go into a downward spiral and repeat cycles in history because we don't understand our history or do the research for it.
Honestly, to your point about stepping on toes, I'm about to step on a bunch. Let me tell y'all, it's to the point I get so irritated, and I can't be a hypocrite though, because it's like that wanting to set a good image for yourself, I get it. But dang, you're missing out on so much in life when you care about what everybody thinks. My God, like, let it go. Because it's like to the party point, like I see so many people, like beautiful women just sitting there, and I'm like, first of all, he don't look like he combed his hair. Like, what is you doing? But you know, it's just like so many opportunities are missed. Like I remember I missed out on so much of going to Atlanta, on taking a trip, on everything, because I cared about what people think. Like, I can't talk to them because they look better than I do, because they talk better, because they, like, it's so much that I could have brought to the table because I know I'm me. I'm not them, and that's what makes me different, and that's what I can bring. But like, for an example, like you watch a movie and it's like a horror movie. Nobody's communicating because they don't want to talk to one another, but they could literally get out in less than 5 minutes. The movie could be over. They would just talk, but everybody's afraid of what somebody's going to say. think, oh, like they're gonna think I'm crazy because I saw this ghost. They're gonna think I'm crazy because I saw a chainsaw. Like it's so much, and you're just watching it. Like, can y'all just communicate? Can y'all just talk? And that's how I feel is growing up in this generation right now. It's just nobody wants to be wrong. Everybody, it's that phrase, loud and wrong. I wish we could get rid of that because like nobody's ever wrong. I mean, unless you really say something off. But it's like, you're not wrong for voicing how you feel. Like, I don't never want to belittle, I don't never want to invalidate nobody's feelings of whether I disagree, because it's always something new. Like, this conversation alone just changed my mind about a lot of things. It doesn't matter if it's wrong or not. It can change minds if you just let it and not care.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? My attention span is shorter than it was 5 years ago. Discuss.
I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. I don't know how I made it through life from the age of 4 to 18 being in regular school. I don't know how I did it. Now that I'm older in college, I cannot sit through an hour and 15-minute class.
Yeah.
I can't. And I don't know if it's because of the professors that I have, but I'm just like, bro, I can't. Even the 50-minute class, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. Like, but then we used to be in school from like 7 in the morning to 2, 3, then after school, extracurricular activities. Literally do homework after school for the next day. I don't know how I used to do it.
I feel like when we were in middle school though, we had like our friends though, you know what I'm saying? We wasn't
like we had the phone.
As you go back to middle school, your best moments probably happen in the middle of class, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like when we were young, we were just more so in the moment. I feel like with college, we're on a more serious level. There's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things at stake. These are careers in front of us, and so I feel like there's more serious. It's a more serious atmosphere in the classroom, and I think that's what has it. And also the professor, the way the professor teaches it. A professor without a personality, they're gonna lose you. You know what I mean? They're gonna get their point across, and obviously they might be a good educator. But if they don't have a personality as a person, they're gonna lose you. You know, so it could also be a professor problem, but also our attention spans could be a problem too as well. But going off that, you know, it's a double-edged sword, I believe.
You just gotta like whenever you're teaching, I know professors, I know they want to keep a clean uniform, but let's be honest, like I'm on my laptop watching Corey Kitchen while trying to listen to you at the same time. I can't. Like, it's just like, and I don't want to say that I developed ADHD because I wasn't like this, like to your point. I wasn't like this before. Like, I remember in middle school, we used to be passing notes while she talking about, you know, I'm kind of that class clown, still A+ student. Like, I can do that. But like now it's just like grown-up stuff. So like financial issues, like I'm like, dang, I gotta hurry up and pay that tuition before the end of the day. I gotta make sure to be at this interview for it. Like, it's like so much going on in my head. The last thing I'm listening to is make sure you do your research paper about it. Like, no, I'm not listening to you.
Exactly.
So it's like, if it were techniques that you can find to use, sure, but my attention span now, especially with social media, going back to that, like, you know, videos, so they're pushing out to be longer, but at the same time, I can only watch a video for a minute and then you lost me. Like,
the 2X.
yeah, that's it.
Oh, I've been starting to put stuff in 1.5. I don't know.
Just something thorough, like I said, a wig video, because I do hair, so it's just like, I gotta watch it. But if they're talking like, oh, we're still on the second step and you're going into 30 seconds, okay, I'm pressing that 2 times, but like, come on.
Two times I said 1.5.
No, it's
It's like, no.
I feel like it's really COVID. Like, COVID's probably where the rewiring in our brain happened because, you know, with the online classes, I'm logging in and going to sleep, or I'm logging in and I'm doing this, that, the third, I'm not paying attention. And then we're stuck in our houses, like, what are we doing? We're just on TikTok, doing whatever, Lord knows what, you know, we don't really have much to give our attention to, so we're spending so much time on things that are short wiring our attention span. And then we get out of COVID and it's like, okay, now things are back to normal, whatever that looks like, and it's like we're coming into that with a whole new brain chemistry, and it's like, what I've been trying to do personally to like regrow my attention span, like I try and stay as far away as I can from my phone. I'll pick up a book. A book requires you to literally sit down, read the pages. There ain't no 2X on no book. You're reading the
You're reading.
Right, like you're reading the pages. and it's like certain things like that. Like I want to pick up hobbies, like things where like, for example, I brought my guitar to school, and I'm like, I completely lost that talent. It's like I have to literally sit down and spend time to actually play this thing. It's like, again, ain't no 2X. I can't just look up a 30-second, how to play guitar in 30 seconds. You know, like, no, I like genuinely.
But it's something about like that that like makes you feel good about it because you work for it.
Exactly.
That's so crazy you said that because I forgot that I literally taught myself how to play the piano a little bit during COVID. Then when I got back to school, I just forgot about it and I went to the music building and I started playing. I was like, oh shoot!
Right?
Exactly. Like yeah.
Exactly.
For me, it had to be skateboarding. I don't feel so, I don't know how many times, but I'm like, hey, you can't press, you can't press. So let's just back up, let's get a few more stars for the day.
I forgot how to skateboard.
I ain't gonna lie, longboard, I got you, but no, skateboarding is too small.
Yeah, I'm hard on skateboard.
Too small.
But no, I agree with what you said concerning COVID, because even for a lot of people, right, it's like you lost about maybe a year and a half of your life in essence. For example, like when COVID happened, I was in my second half of junior year, so I lost half my junior and my senior year. And then I instantly went to college, and so it was just readapting to a whole university, a whole new location,
Right.
everything that's happening. And so it's just like you're having all this stuff thrown at you all at once. And even with some people who were in their freshman year of high school, they're suddenly now juniors and seniors. They didn't really have the time to adapt or have the time to actually become who they needed to be during that period of growth. So it's just like, because of that, it's kind of like social media is a place for that, but we all realize the internet is not a real place at the end of the day.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's just like, but they think it's a real place because there's no other place for them during that period of growth.
Right.
Like to write that down.
Yeah. Write it down.
I think I was going on that. I really have my thumb down just because for me, I think it's like a mental thing, like just trying to train your mind to like you said, of course, we was all in COVID, so I think I just actually improved from being in COVID because, like you said, during that time, you get on the class and going to sleep or not paying attention, watching a movie or playing video games, whatever while class is happening. Like just doing things to like take our mind off the class. So like getting out of that and just like trying to train my mind to like pay attention to whatever I'm doing or doing things like putting down my phone, going to read a book, or just watching like a really long documentary just so I can have that like mental capacity to be like, oh, I can sit and do this, which kind of helps me with like during class, like understanding, oh, it's gonna be over eventually. Just sit here and understand this and what the teacher's saying, and you're gonna be all right. Like just worry about what's going on in the moment. In the moment. So I think maybe like my attention span is like improved over COVID, which is good for me.
I've never heard that before, but that the way that you put it, it makes so much sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, to break that attention span, like, having short is a reward system. Like, to your point, like you said, if you want to learn, like, how to play, show off that guitar skills, you're going to have to take time. But I will say, for my mindset, like, I was a quarantine kid, so graduating high school, I didn't get the prom, I didn't get the graduation, but, like, I worked so hard. Like, I did all the work, I didn't cheat, and, you know, it's like I put all the effort, and I didn't even get to show it off.
What year did you graduate?
So mine was 2020. I graduated high school. I'm an older sophomore. I'm 22. So it's like my mindset kind of changed. Like everybody else was like, dang, I'm gonna be selfish for a minute. It's everybody else's fault. My mindset was just like, okay, well, how can I grow from this? Like, what is it that we can do? Of course, we're not going to get like everybody thought we were going to get another graduation and it's going to be better. No, we didn't get one. So it's just like, dang, how can I do better? So that's why, with my attention, like going to that, I can give myself a reward system to kind of treat myself like, hey, I saw that you read 15 chapters for this book today because I just wanted to. And that made me feel good to where now I can do like a little book club, say I want to express or something. Or like if I read the Bible, like I know some books don't quote, but it's like I feel good now I can like go preach that, like, hey, I know scripture just for you if you want to go read about that. So like it's rewarding to me if I do it, if I really put my mind to it. So yeah.
And kind of the aspect of like relationships too, like short attention spans, like really like speed through relationships, like development, like with friendships and like romantic interests. And it's like, okay, we're dating, but I don't even know your middle name. I don't know anything about you.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? AI tools should be banned.
I'm gonna go quick. It should be bad because like you can still use them to like your benefit. You can use them the right way. There is a way to use them the right way. Like you don't have to ask AI to fill out an entire like assignment for you, but if you have like a specific question about the assignment or how to do it, it'll definitely like tell you how to do it, and you can follow the steps and still do your assignment. So like it's just you can use it the right way without it being bad. Yeah.
Because you let me have the floor the last time.
Okay, I think AI is helpful. I think it can really. I've had AI outline, creating an outline for me in my speech class. But you know, and it helped me. And then I just go. I was like, okay, I know how to do an outline now. No, I did it the same way. Turned it in, got an A. You know, and it helps a lot. But I feel like I feel like you just. With the thing with this world, not our generation, the world, you have to learn how to use things properly. But that's going to be impossible when our government doesn't even use things properly. But we gotta just use things properly. You know, be smart about what we do. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to, like, obviously cheating, obviously. But if you want to learn how to write, you know, a perfect paper, okay, how do I write a really good paper? They're going to show you the details of how to write. You know, you got the opening statement, you got the body, and the conclusion. It'll show you that. You just have to use these things properly, and I feel like that's the whole thing with the world. Just learn how to use things properly.
I personally love ChatGPT.
Yeah,
That's my heart, for real. Like, ChatGPT is, when I tell you, like, it's like, I don't know how, like, with the information I've given it, it feels like, this kind of sounds crazy, but it's like my therapist a little bit. Like, when I'm going through a tough time, I'm like, can you give me a Bible verse that will help me, like, guide me through this week? Or can you give me, like, a prayer to, like, make, just to keep my sanity, because I'm going through it right now. ChatGPT really helps me. And even, like, for, earlier I said something about artists and having to generate content. It helps me come up with content. It's like, well, you have this type of sound, so why don't you go in this direction? Like, when you use it the right way, it can cater to you. So that's why, like, sometimes when I see on the news and stuff, which also I feel like it's propaganda. When they're saying like AI is like leading kids to like deaths, unfortunately, or like to them being like, what is the word when you don't have confidence?
So insecure.
Insecure, yes. Leading them to be insecure. I feel bad because I'm like, well, the AI that I'm using, it's actually uplifting me way more.
It's all out of control.
Yeah. It's the same way when you talk to people and you like ask people about advice. You can ask them about advice or like how to do something. It's like, okay, well, now it's like up to you whether you want to apply like what you consume from them, like what they're giving you. It's like AI is like the same way, like literally like, okay, it's 10 o'clock p.m. I cannot get an email back from my professor, so I'm going to ask AI, and AI can give me an answer and like help me, okay, understand this assignment better. Or it's like, just like you said, like content ideas. I can go to my friend, ask my friend, but my friend may not be well versed in this, like, you know, perspective, like me. Exactly. So it's like AI knows friggin' everything, so why not use this tool? And it's like just not becoming reliant or dependent on it, utilizing it as like a tool and just like instead of a crutch. Yeah.
It's literally, I think, if I had to say anything, hopefully this gets out there, but the key tip to life is remembering cause and effect. If you keep trying to use everything to do it yourself, like to do it for you, you're not going to get an effect out of it. And then you're going to wonder, well, how did I not learn this? Because you let somebody else do it, because you let somebody else take it. You're going to let everybody steal every opportunity that you could have had if you keep giving people the work that you're supposed to be doing. So with AI, use it with just use it as a tool, like I said. Like I literally can't express enough that when people use it for their essays and like research and everything, you already then gave it half the things that you were supposed to be learning. Those were the skill sets that you were supposed to gain. And now when you go to that job, you're gonna be like, I don't even know how to do research because you asked AI to do it and you didn't do it. So cause and effect, it's like, what do you want to come out of it? And that's literally how life is, like outside of social media. What do you want to come out of it, and how will you be the cause? Like, what would you have presented to the table, and what would you take from it?
I agree with what y'all are saying, I just also want to add the fact of giving credibility where credit is due. Due to the fact I'm a visual artist, and because I'm a visual artist, AI art is a very murky field at the current moment. Due to the fact that a lot of AI art is created from art that is already pre-existing. And because it's already pre-existing, those artists aren't getting credit where credit is due. So it's just like, yes, I do believe AI can be a tool that can be properly used. It can come up with concepts, it can come up with outlines, it can come up with all of these great things that can assist in our day-to-day lives. But when you are taking someone's hard work and just using it, like, let's say, for example, actually, we're done with examples. I always say for example. Essentially, it's just like us visual artists, we consistently keep creating art, and it's consistently taking our art and then reusing it for their own usage. So it's like, if we make a logo for Auntie and then AI takes a portion of that or recreates that, then it's just like, is that really their art, or is it just our art just regurgitated?
Thumbs up, thumbs down. I struggle with my mental health. Discuss.
Love all the thumbs down and mics and thumbs up. We're gonna talk about that. But I think it's just for me personally, it's just a mental thing. We gotta tell yourself, you gotta affirm yourself every day, uplift yourself every day. Don't compare yourself to other people. Just know that like you are on the right track. Like we were talking about earlier, God put you on this track. You know where you're supposed to be. Everything's gonna be okay, no matter what we see, what's going on around us throughout the world right now. We're gonna be okay. So it's like just uplifting yourself every day. Like we're gonna be fine. Like everything is fine. You're doing good. Like you're where you're supposed to be. That's all it takes for me. So.
Yeah. I feel like I'm not even gonna. Yo, once I found God, I was good. Like I always have had God in me, but when I started talking to Him, reading my Bible, I was like, okay. I mean, I'm going through some trials and tribulations, but He's doing it on purpose to grow me as a person. I'm alright. I'm gonna be alright. I know I'm gonna be alright. And then also, when I also kept talking about, I realized that I'm gonna be fine. I'm not worried about the future. I'm not worried about the economy right now. I'm not worried about what our president has in place for us. I will say the things that are happening are unfortunate, but I know God got me. I'm alright. So I stopped wrestling with myself when I realized that everything just happens for a reason, and it's just gonna continue to grow me as an individual.
So the only reason why I said I struggle with my mental health, it's not all the time. Actually, I'm walking into like the season of what y'all were talking about right now, where God just, I know that He has me covered. I have affirmations on my mirror now, and I read them every day, and I feel blessed. I feel very blessed, but some days are hard. Some days I do look at social media. I wouldn't say that I'm depressed, but I'm like, dang, like, stop comparing yourself, Maya. That's the only thing. Comparison is a thief of joy. And that's one of the things I have on my mirror, to stop comparing myself, because what do you gain out of that? And then also it's like, I see what is happening in the world, and it does take a toll. Like, I can't lie and say like, seeing those people that died in a plane crash hasn't been bothering me. Like 2 plane crashes, and I hate even watching like videos like that. And then also like Donald Trump, I care, but I choose not to worry about that stuff because it's in God's hands.
Exactly.
All of this is in God's hands. You know that what's that? What was that? That Sunday school song.
He's got the whole world in His hands.
Yeah. So I just choose God every time. So I'm not gonna say the mental health is terrible, but some days are them days.
It's just hard.
God nourishes me spiritually. I nourish me physically. So in that case, I do take time for myself. I do things that will help my mental health, because at the end of the day, right, my belief keeps me going, but if I'm not helping my physical being, I'm not going to be okay. So it's like journaling, my art, talking to my friends, doing all that helps me to maintain where I need to be in order to keep progressing, because life is going to keep going whether you're okay or not.
Literally. And that's so important too, like, you know, really taking a look at like the things you're doing, because a lot of times when we do get down, we like to look at like outside sources to put blame on. And sometimes, sometimes life just keeps throwing you curveballs. But a lot of the times, like in my lowest moments, it was like, okay, Ryan, who are you surrounding yourself with? What are the things like you're doing in your, your daily time? Like, and I'm like, okay, maybe I wasn't around the best company. Maybe like, I was seeking validation in like unstable or unreliable sources. I'm not, eating healthy. I'm not getting physical activity. I'm like waiting till the last minute to do assignments. So I'm stressed. Like, so then all these things start piling up, and it's like, girl, like, take a step back. Like, open up your Bible, reset, and get back right on the track, and then you'll be okay. And so like mental health, like, I don't know, I'm blessed to say like it's never really been an issue for me. I'm just really blessed to say that, but like also like how you said, like once I found God, it was like, oh baby, I'm always good. I'm always good. Like the blood is always covering me. So it's like anything that comes my way, I know it's to grow me, I'm gonna get something out of that. I'm going to learn, like it may hurt right now, but I'm gonna look back and be like, thank you, God.
I think, of course, every morning I wake myself up with the 3 questions of what are you going to feed your spirit today, who are you going to surround yourself by, and then what are you going to do to change it? The problem is that last question is what are you going to do to change it? Half people can't respond to it because they don't want to get rid of those friends, because they don't want to get rid of those habits, because they don't want to get rid of those. And the thing is, once you remove those thorns, those weeds in your garden, like you'll see a change, you'll see it flourishing. But I think the most powerful scripture that finally in this season, because now this is walking in my purpose season. Last year was finding my self-love for myself, because I kept trying to tell broken mirrors, like, how do I look? Do I look pretty today? And it's like,
girl, is you
why
me?
she tell me that? Like, why she tell? So now that I got the self-love down, like you said, I take care of myself and put myself first. But now it's worry about what's happening today. We literally stress so much about what's going to happen. God says, do not worry about tomorrow, for today. And that is just, it always stays with me, because when I just focus on today, I'm like, okay, God, what is it? What are we doing today? Do I need to do this today? And I remember I used to go to my friends and I used to tell everybody about my problems, but lately I've just been talking to God. Like, you would think I'm in the room on the phone. I'm like over here having a full conversation. Like, did he just talk to me that way? Like, but no, it's literally the peace that I find of God. Changed my heart desires, because we also can't rely on that either. Like, you gotta ask God about what is it that I need to do differently? What am I feeding myself that I didn't think that I needed? Because it's a lot of things that we want and desire that we really don't need, and God's telling you that is not where I want to put you right now. So definitely heavy on that, really heavy on that.
And I just want to put this little like piece of advice out here. Like, we all know the saying, like, give us today our daily bread.
Yeah.
Like, pray that prayer every day, because like, for some people it may be like actual, like physically daily bread, like I need food, like I don't know how I'm gonna get this food on my table, but you guys know what it is for yourself. God, today I just need peace. God, today I just need company. I'm feeling lonely. God, today I just need, I don't know, a laugh. Like, I need an uplift in my spirit. God, today I just, whatever you need, like pray that, like God knows your needs, spoken and unspoken. So it's like, give me today my daily bread. He will literally provide that for you. Whatever, and it may come in like literally the smallest form, but you'll know. No one else will know. You can't even explain it to somebody. They won't even get it. But you and God know. You're just like, thank you. And so that, like, praying that prayer is like, okay, what I need, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, it's gonna be met. And just like keeping that in my mind, it just keeps me at that peace. It's like, I'm taken care of. I'm good.
Ryan, that ate down. And like I said, I'm really good now. Like, I feel very at peace, and I'm grateful for everything God has done in my life. Like, I'm grateful for the good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty. I know, like, last semester was my hardest semester here by far. Like, y'all, I was going through it where I was like at the point where like, do I need to come back here? Like, it felt like it was just punch after punch after punch, and I just couldn't win. And it felt like, I was like, God, like, why is this happening? Like, to me, like, I just want to fulfill my purpose. But all of those struggles that I went through have brought out like a better me. Like God literally will break you to make it. Yo, I'm about to start preaching. God will break you to make you. But yeah, that's my skill in mental health.
Yeah.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? I am more informed than my parents.
See, them being here before me, like just us in general, like, they still know a lot more than we can like, ever imagine. So
Exactly.
like learning from them is still good, but then at the same time, us getting the newer generation, you still know stuff that they don't know, and the things that they didn't know like from their time. So I think it's like good to be in the middle because you can learn from them, and they can learn from you, and yeah, that's it.
I agree with Jordan. I feel like you can definitely learn from your parents and they can learn from you. Both my parents, unfortunately, couldn't finish college because my mom was pregnant with my brother at the time. So she is learning through me a little bit and learning from my journey about, herself. And my father as well, he didn't finish college either. So I feel like sometimes I'm like, y'all didn't know that? But it's like, our parents, this is their first time living too.
Yeah.
So, they're not gonna know every single thing.
Right.
It's just how we don't know every single thing.
Yeah.
I definitely agree, and I feel like how you said, like, this is their first time living in, I mean, like, the age that they're at, like, they obviously have experienced more than we've experienced just because they're older than us, they have more years under their belt, but also, like, with certain things, times are different from, like, how they grew up versus we grew up, so, like, they may, like, give us their perspective and, like, advice on something, but it's like, okay, I get what you're saying, but things are different now, so, like, it's an exchange of information and the output is more knowledge on both ends because like I'm taking what is like my reality and like your experience and I can apply that and it's like, okay, knowledge for the both of us.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
I would say like I came from a household, my mom has schizophrenia and my dad, he's like, he's not there, but it's just from learning from them. Even if it's the bad things, I think the biggest thing was trying to learn to forgive. And that came from them because it's just like they're still learning. They were kids too. We all had life happen. It's nothing that you can do or change about it, but it's what you choose to do with your life moving forward. So like staying informed helps me help them, if that makes sense. So everything that I do, they help me to, even though they weren't there, it still helped me to kind of be present, like, hey, let me be present for all three of us. I think even with like my siblings, like they have special needs, so it's like I'm kind of the only one that has to bring that information to the table. Like, yeah, y'all didn't know that this is going on, or can I tell y'all about this? And even though I get those closed mindset, it's okay, because I know at the end of the day, they're still learning that, and we're all just going to still grow. It's just going to be different pace, and that's okay.
The reason I was like, can we do the middle? Because there's obviously, some things that we know that our parents don't know. And they might even be like surface level,
Yeah.
I always tell my dad, like, did you know, I'm a sports guy, so I'm like, did you know this, that, and the third, average this, that, and the third? He's like, nah, I didn't even know that. I'm like, right, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's a middle point, because like, there's some things that we know as young adults that our parents might not know. But the reason I do thumbs down is because I don't know how to pay my taxes. I'm kidding. I got my car, but my dad still services my car. So I have a thought of how to change a tire, but I just don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? Like he taught me how to take it off, he taught me how to put it on. Like now, if it really came down to it, could I probably change a tire? Life and death? Maybe.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Can I change my oil? I have an idea, but I don't know how to do it. Like my dad, this is why I was like, I want to be like my dad. He knows so much about everything. He knows how to hang a TV, knows how to do plumbing, he knows how to do lights. He can put in a stereo system. Like he's really like a guy, like a family guy. And I'm like, I don't know how to do any of these things. And then he works for the government as well, so he knows everything about money and like computers and things of that nature. I'm like, no, I do not know about my parents. And then with my mother, with everything she knows when it comes to like things she's good at. Like my mom is actually really good with like home decor. Like that's her thing. I really think of my mom really because she gets that from her mother. I feel like if my mother really, really wanted to, she could probably do home decor. Like she could be like on HGTV and she could really make your house the way it is. My mom knows how to do the angles and the pictures and how to make things pop and things of that nature. Like I think that's what my mom really wants to do. I think that's what my mom wants to do. But she's a beautiful woman, social worker. She's probably gonna see this video. But she probably won't see this video. But like, you know, I really think, you know, it's just things like that. We don't know that what our parents know.
Yeah.
But it goes hand in hand. And there's some things that they don't know that we know, and there's things that we don't know that they know.
Yeah.
I completely agree because just with life in general, you have to experience it. And when I look at my 22 years in comparison to their 50 years plus, it's just like I haven't experienced life as they have experienced it, and especially different time period, different access to technologies, different access to like different locations, globalization, all of that. It's like, yes, I am a bit more aware of like what's happening in these different cultures that are happening over here because I'm able to witness it through a screen. But like they might have witnessed it in person. They might have gone and traveled and they had to experience things in person. They had to talk to people. They had to communicate with people. So it's just like, yes, I'm informed in some aspects, but they are more informed because they've lived more life and because they've had more time on this planet to see what is there to offer. So,
And not only that, like, I would really hope my parents know more than me because not only were they responsible for their life, they were responsible for mine. Like, they literally raised a whole nother life, created a whole new life. So, like, of course they know more than me. And it's like, I would really hope so. I would not want to know more than my parents.
Yeah. For all of us just sitting right now, I think they did pretty well. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. I am optimistic about the future.
Gotta be.
Oh.
Ooh, we gotta talk about that.
We just start with you.
So when I heard the question, it was, am I optimistic about the future, not my future, okay? So when I hear the future, I'm like, based on the future of this country, I'm not optimistic about it, okay? When it comes to my future, I am optimistic about it because I know I've already done it. I put the building blocks to get to where I need to be, to where I want to do what I want to do. But when it comes to this country, I'm a little scared based on how the government's moving, how the Department of Education is moving, how pretty much people are moving in general as a society. And so it's just like, because we don't have these types of conversations that we're having currently, it's a little scary to look at if it's going to be optimistic or not.
Okay.
I think like you kind of have to be optimistic about just our future, the future of the country in general. It's like be okay. Like you keep telling yourself, oh, everything's gonna go to our country, everything's gonna go bad, or just what is happening, why is this happening to us or me? Then you just never gonna be okay. It's like you just gotta tell yourself everything's gonna be okay. You can only like worry about what you can control and control what you can't control, because anything outside of that, it doesn't matter because you can't control it. So like, why even worry about it?
I think we all had the idea in our head, and we're optimistic about our future. So I think I'm definitely optimistic about my future. Once again, going with God and the blueprint and everything. But I'm gonna hit on yours. I'm more pessimistic about the whole, not even our country, the world, and just the way everything's are going. You know, overseas with Gaza and things of that nature. And I think they said the Euphrates River might be drying up, which is in the Bible as well. Oh my goodness. I'm not optimistic for the world, but I feel like there are going to be some bright spots still, though, in what's going on. Hopefully, but for my future, very optimistic. I'm okay. I think I found my purpose in life. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty content, and I hope to keep going. But for the future of the world, I'm pessimistic.
I'm not gonna lie, like it's hard to, because I really did put my thumbs up like real quick, but I might just give it in the middle because even though we talk about the future and our future, it combines, okay? Because technically it kind of matters what goes on, because like even as of right now, they didn't even pass a wage that is livable. Like we're still living at that minimum $7.25. I go to Walmart, spend two things since $36 already. Like, come on, and it's just so hard because sometimes I cry about it because it's like, dang, I can't even get in my mindset of thinking about getting a car, about getting that home, about getting that place. And I trust God and I try to walk by faith, but sometimes when I look out, when I see everything, I'm like, oh, how? Like, how are we gonna do this? Like, I can't even think to, like, even give me a BMW, like just something, but I can't think that far because all I'm thinking about is like, oh, like there's insurance, there's car notes, and we can't even get that now because it went up. So it's just like with the future of whoever's hands it's about to be in, it's hard because it's sort of affecting my future now to where my mindset, I'm trying to keep on that path of like, you gotta be a little delulu in this, like this season is just, you gotta be a little delulu because it's getting really hard to try to keep that utmost, like I wanna be positive, everybody else around you is like, nah, let's be realistic. But yeah, I really think in this era, like I'm in the middle. It's just, we gotta really pray, we really gotta stick together. Like as of right now, like what we're telling each other, we need to start leaning on each other more than ever because that's where our future is gonna look like if we start doing that now. But if we don't, I don't know.
For me personally, I'll do both points as well. For the country, it's devastating. It's very devastating to witness all of these things just be taken away. Like, how are we sitting up here letting this man take away simple, basic human rights? And who put these people in charge in the first place? That's what I be wondering. When y'all came to America, who in the heck put y'all in charge? I be so confused. And then it's like the DI right now, the Mexicans being deported by ICE. And it's crazy because the Mexican firefighters were just here helping us while our country was burning down. So for the country, the future is very like blurry to me. The vision's blurry. But for me and myself, I haven't felt as optimistic about my future like this in a long time. Like I feel like I am really walking into the purpose that God has for me. And it hasn't been more clearer for me than ever.
I love that. Yeah, I feel like we're all kind of on the same page, like as far as like the world, the country. It's hard to think about, and honestly, like it's really out of my control. Like what can I do to literally like, so I just choose to focus on like my world, like my, like, you know, my community, my people. It's like, okay, what can we do together to just make sure we're okay? And I know that sounds a little bit selfish, but like that's all we can reach. And it's like, okay, you make sure your community's good. Your community is part of another community. They can start making their community good. And it's just like kind of focusing on that aspect is like, when I look at like the future in that sense, and like that's my focus, I'm like, okay, I know like me and mine will be good, and then I know me and mine are good, they can make theirs and theirs good, and it's just like, just trying to have that mindset, and hopefully it just trickles down, and you know.
To add on to your point about like what can I do in focusing on my world, I was saying, one of my professors, she was asking us like, how have you been affected so far since Trump has been in office? And I said that same thing, like, I hope it doesn't come off as like, I don't care about the world, because I definitely do. I definitely care about what problems we're all facing. But because I'm not at like one of the elite statuses, it's hard for me to say that I'm deeply affected by it. Because it's like, what can I do? I don't have the money that they have. I don't know the people that they know, and I'm not in their cabinet. The House of Reps, the Senate, all of them are Republican now. Yeah. So it's like, what can I do, for real?
Yeah, we're good. Give yourself some
Bruh, y'all should have put me, bruh, I'm over here just like, clocking tears, bruh, and bruh.